Welcome to Plan9Crunch. I'm Doug Gibson, and today we're having another edition of Plan9Crunch Reads from a genre story or novel. Today we're reading from Grimm's fairy tales, and we're going to read from the story The Little Red Riding Hood. And most of you know that story. This is just a snippet from it, and we hope you enjoy it. Now the grandmother lived away in the wood, half an hour's walk from the village. And when Little Red Riding Hood had reached the woods, she met the wolf. But as she did not know what a bad sort of animal he was, she did not feel frightened. "Good day, Little Red Riding Hood," said he. "Thank you kindly, wolf," answered she. "Where are you going so early, Little Red Riding Hood?" "To my grandmother's." "What are you carrying under your apron?" "Cakes and wine we baked yesterday, and my grandmother is very weak and ill, so they will do her good and strengthen her." "Where does your grandmother live, Little Red Riding Hood?" "A quarter of an hour's walk from here. Her house stands beneath the 3 oak trees, and you may know it by the hazel bushes," said Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf thought to himself, that tender young thing would be a delicious morsel, and would taste better than the old one. I must manage somehow to get both of them. Then he walked by Little Red Riding Hood a little while and said, "Little Red Riding Hood, just look at the pretty flowers that are growing all around you. And I don't think you are listening to the song of the birds. You are posting along just as if you were going to school, and it is so delightful out here in the wood." Little Red Riding Hood glanced around her, and when she saw the sunbeams darting here and there through the trees and lovely flowers everywhere, she thought to herself, "If I were to take a fresh nosegay to my grandmother, she'd be very pleased. And it is so early in the day that I shall reach her in plenty of time." And so she ran about in the wood looking for flowers, and she picked one she saw a still prettier one. And as she picked one, she saw a still prettier one a little farther off, and so she went farther and farther into the wood. But the wolf went straight to the grandmother's house and knocked at the door. "Who is there?" cried the grandmother. "Little Red Riding Hood," he answered, "and I have brought you some cake and wine. Please open the door." "Lift the latch," cried the grandmother. "I am too feeble to get up." We're going to leave it there right now, okay? These Grimm's complete fairy tales are fantastic reading. There's just a whole bunch of them in here. And often the complete fairy tales, the originals, are a little more grisly than you might have heard as a kid. So once again, thank you for another edition of Plan9Crunch Reads. It's been Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. I'm Doug Gibson, and that's a wrap.